All right, welcome back, mates. Crypto Leverage Trading Group. Hope everybody's doing well. About 6 o'clock on Monday night, we are going to talk a little bit about Bitcoin really quickly. Kind of wrap this up for Monday. I'm really, first of all, I'm really ecstatic. Can't tell you how happy I am for a ton of traders in the Crypto Leverage Trading Group, in the free trading community, on Twitter, that follow the Facebook page. Which now has over like 700 people. The Facebook group now is growing. Our YouTube channel is growing. I cannot thank enough all the people that have helped made in such a short time this channel and the Cocoscope channel and all those things successful in helping people learn to earn, okay? Helping people learn things about cryptocurrency and blockchain technology kind of in one place, whether it just be not just, one leverage trading, lane, but also learn a lot about altcoins, learn about smart contracts from blockchain technology, how to benefit from, compounding, how to benefit from staking, how to do these things that are all open in decentralized finance in the cryptoverse. And they're new to everyone, right? I mean, a lot more people coming in to cryptocurrency every day. And so a lot of things that happen, we've seen it in our group, especially in our free trading community or Discord, where everyone has the same questions, right? Like when you first join a club, a group, doesn't matter what your interests are. When you enter, most people have the same questions, right? What's the group about? How do I catch up with everybody else in the group? Where's everybody else at? I mean, if it's crypto, it's like, we're trading. How much money are you trading with? What leverage are you using? And it really ends up becoming this kind of like thing where you've got a lot of groups on Facebook, and a lot of groups on Discord, and a lot of followers on Twitter. And that word is so profound in the sense of what happens. Followers, okay? And in trading and leverage trading, you can spend upwards of $5,000, $3,000 to $5,000 a month paid services, okay, to follow traders, to mirror traders. That means you're mirroring their trade, meaning they're telling you real time where you should put your money in leverage trading, okay? So you're paying for that ability up front a lot of times, or someone's going to charge you like $5,000 in Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency for you to join their Discord or follow them, their consult or whatever up front. Okay. And that's just what's out there. And I've seen them as high as like 20,000. Okay. Of, follow a trader, Forex trader for $20,000. You get into his Discord, you get into and you mirror trade, you follow trade, and people are successful at that. But not everybody has $20,000. Not everybody has $10,000. Not everybody has $5,000, and not everybody has $1,000, right? That they could just fork out every month to get this, the console or get that. And that's really, in essence, why we created our group. Is we wanted where people could come together and talk about trading leverage, talk about cryptocurrency, talk about all the things that are happening in the cryptoverse, government regulations, you name it. In kind of like, an open source, like, community where people could learn, right, and apply methods and strategies to their trading that, will work for them and can work for them incrementally, whether they're putting $50 into Bitcoin, whether they're, I can't tell you how many people I've talked to that their first Bitcoin purchase was in 2021 through Cash App or PayPal, okay, did not know anything about cryptocurrency whatsoever and are now leverage trading, okay? That's the evolution in 90 days, right? It's just, it boggles the mind in a sense because, man, I never would have foreseen that for people 5 years ago. But we've had all these things in decentralized finance, all these derivative exchanges, all these now areas where you can accumulate, procure Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency, whether it's Uniswap, right? Any DEX, right? And you can stake things, right? And so That it's totally fundamentally changed from like 2017, 2018. And I know a lot of people will always throw back to that 2017, 2018 Bitcoin, and I'm just not a subscriber to that belief system anymore. Markets evolve. Okay. They always do. And while it is relevant, this is the mistake that I see a lot of YouTubers, in my opinion, make when they see a backdraft or a sell down. Their immediate defense mechanisms kick in and they immediately think 2018. And so then you see this like onslaught of like negative Bitcoin, it's going down, and all that stuff. Because the mentality is they're not really a believer. And I don't mean any disrespect to them, but they're not really guided by technical analytics or, on-chain metrics. They're guided by emotion. And as much as they may have, a lot of subscribers or a lot of followers or may appear to be, but the second the market goes down 3,000 or 4,000 points in Bitcoin, if their whole mentality is to change on a dime from being a bull to a bear, I mean, overnight, because they didn't predict the move back down. It happened and they're reacting to it. That's emotion, right? That's all emotion. And there's the behavior and leverage that we want to play. Like a couple of weeks back, I did a video. I got a lot of comments. I mean, a lot of emails too directed at me that were like rather like, hostile in a sense, because I'm not in a community, right? I studied blockchain, respect blockchain, respect all the projects of people that are in blockchain. I just wanted to educate myself, because when you're investing in cryptocurrency, you're investing in blockchain technology, whether you realize it or not. Same way as when you invest in an iPhone, you're investing in cellular technology, right? And the network that supports your cell phone call. Okay. Whether you realize you are or not, that's what you're doing. So I wanted to have an educational base like that. I wanted to learn how to write smart contracts. I wanted to learn about decentralized finance. This is where my interest is. This is where I lie. Okay. And there, other people's interest in the cryptoverse lie in different areas. Some people specialize in technical analytics. Some people specialize like in on-chain metrics. Like, for example, if you're me, I will look and follow Willy Woo on Twitter forever. Okay. Forever. Because it's no bullshit. All right. Charts BTC on Twitter. Follow it forever. Why? It's no bullshit. Okay. It's flat out technicals. The chart don't lie. The on-chain metrics don't lie. You can subscribe to Glassnode and pay a monthly fee. You actually get a lot of stuff for free with their insights. You should be, if you're leverage trading, you should be on Glassnode's email list, like subscriber. I think, I think they have them maybe on Substack. CryptoQuant, The Block, okay? You should be following those because it's no bullshit, okay? It's not some guy like me with a webcam, talking. I'm just doing commentary on what I think, okay, for the people in my group, okay? But these people are providing you on-chain data analytics from the blockchain. They're not shilling a coin. They're not telling you the next gem. They're not telling you what the next 5 altcoins are to $1 million bullshit. Okay. They're not telling you that. That's not their shtick. Okay. That's not who they are. These are really professional people. Okay. Doing important things like on-chain analytics. Okay. And technical analysts are the same way, in a different sense. I mean, because a lot of them do have their own subscriber base, do have their own following, do charge for their services, do a lot of those other things. But this information is vital to your leverage trading success, and learning the behavior of what's going on in the market. And that's where I come from. That's the information that I diagnose. I don't diagnose and trade based on, in reality, just because somebody on YouTube says something. Somebody on YouTube says Cardano was going to go to $200, right? Okay, right? I mean, I pay attention to it. I watch it. I kind of discern, like, is the information credible? Is it realistic? Is it supported by technical analytics? Is it supported by on-chain metrics? No and no. I move on, right? Because that's somebody shilling a coin without providing you any real data analytics or support. You would never buy a stock, okay, from a guy, right? Or you shouldn't. I mean, without any fundamental and what's the price to earnings multiple, right? What are the earnings? What's the earnings per share potential this quarter, next quarter? How to perform last quarter, this quarter, last year? You would never do that, right? Like, I mean, why would you do that in crypto? Just not understand what a project is all about, not understand that they're a year to 2 years away from any real product. Like, time value of money. Like, I have no issue with any of these projects. They're all vitally important projects and they all serve different purposes. But time value of money. Where do you want to put your money today? You're going to be waiting on, these are great investments, potentially, for a long-term investor, right? But again, where are you now? Where is the market today? What's moving today? What has your greatest potential today, this quarter? Next 10 days. That's how we look at leverage trades a lot in Crypto Leverage Trading Group. We do 5, 10, 240s, right? 240 hours. Use 5x or 10x or less, okay? Focus on the next 10 days in front of you. Keep focusing on the next 10 days. Why do we do that in leverage? And why do we do that in our group? Compounding, right? Flip it over, compound it. You could start with $500, right? Then it's 700, then it's 900, then it's 1200, 1500, 1700, right? You compound it, okay? And that's how you grow your crypto wallet and you grow your financial wealth in crypto. That's just another way, okay? That's the leveraging way. And then you have your hodler way where you just put a couple $100 into your favorite altcoin and let it sit for a couple years. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, people are making more money in cryptocurrency right now than they are in the stock market the last 3 years. That's for sure. So there's nothing really like, there's nothing wrong with that. That's investing, right? That's not trading. That's investing. So there's a difference. So we're sitting right now 57,800-ish in Bitcoin, a little bit after 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Monday, how did we get here, right? Last week, doom and gloom. Remember? Midweek, Wednesday, Thursday, doom and gloom. We're going to 35,000. We're going to 17,000. It's 2018. Get all your money out of Bitcoin. You're going to get wrecked. Didn't happen. Why didn't it happen? And that's what you want to look at. And this is why I tell everyone to have a notebook, okay? You should be charting all these things if you're serious. Now, if you're just friggin', playing around, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's what I do where, like, I'm looking at, like, English Premier League football, or I'm looking at hockey, or I'm looking at, placing a bet on the NCAA March Madness where everybody's getting wrecked. You know what I mean? Like, that's just playing around, right? It's playing around. Like, it's not serious. I'm not in Vegas or Atlantic City. Just, fill out a freaking grid, from the NCAA with your buddies, $10, $20 in the pool. Boom. That's it. Still gambling. Okay. But it's fun. It's not serious, right? If you're serious about being a leverage trader or changing your paradigm in terms of income, whether it be passive income with smart contracts generating you a rate of return, staking generating you a rate of return 7% to 20%, depending on what you're staking. You're staking Aave, synthetics, whatever, wherever that is, wherever you come down on that spectrum, you want to be serious about it. And you need to invest in yourself and education. That's what I did. Like, I didn't know nearly, 5% of what I know about blockchain technology 2 years ago. Okay. 2 years ago. Just had a paradigm shift. It went off for me. Like, I was like, wait a second. Solution-based. Had a conversation with a blockchain technologist working for the major project. Okay. Had to be connected through a friend. That's how it started. Like, I hadn't known Bitcoin. I invested in Bitcoin, but I was a casual, passive, stock market guy, options guy, like, had never leverage traded before, crypto, there weren't very many opportunities. And then the ones that came along ended up getting shut down. That was all that stuff 3 years ago, right? 4 years ago. But obviously Bitcoin's out there, right? And some of the altcoins have come, but really was not for me until I started to learn more about Ethereum. And it was more Ethereum than Bitcoin. And most people will tell you that have spoken with me, done a side-by-side one-on-one trading sessions with me, or had any kind of like interaction with me on Zoom or whatever, is Ethereum is really for me. And when people ask me like, well, what other groups are you in? What other groups were you in? I've had great groups, bad groups. It's just what happens. I don't want my group to become a bad group. And that's why I believe in honesty and transparency and everything. You make a good trade, you make a bad trade, you make a good call, you make a bad call, you just own it. Right? Everyone loses trades. Okay. Everybody does. That's just what happens. The market can, in crypto, the market can shift. Bunch of people, good people that I know, that I respect, got wrecked last week. Okay, because they were overextended. All right, and there's a balance that you want to reach, okay, and get to in your trading and how you perceive crypto. You don't want to become overextended, no matter what. Even if I'm telling you the market's going higher, which the market's going higher, you want to be balanced. Okay, you still don't want to get chased. I don't chase things. Don't chase trades. Okay, you're watching candles go up and up and up and up, right? And you're like, oh, you want to miss out. You're going to miss out. You're going to miss out. Okay, the market has this ability to come back to you. Okay, and so in the end, don't get caught up in that minute mentality that's not supported by technical analytics. I've seen this so many times where people bought at 90 RSI on the 1 minute chart. And then it went up for another candle. And then all of a sudden it just came back down. And then they have to wait it out and wait and wait and wait. Right. Well, again, that's undisciplined trading. Okay. That's buying on the emotion because you're seeing green. You don't want to miss out. Right. And that's how you get wrecked. Like, it's like you wait for the market's going to be there tomorrow. Okay. You have to be your mentality. It's like, pick your entries, like, in terms of that, and be disciplined. That's the most important part, right? In terms of entry, is just discipline, and factor in all the information that you get, but don't chase high elevated RSI simply because you don't want to get, you're thinking it's, is it right? And the same is going down, right? You want to balance out all of the information, especially a lot of the noise. So when we talked about it this week, and we were like, what set us apart? How did we get to traders getting 200% returns on multiple leverage trades? How do we get, if you looked on Twitter today, how did we get to, 1,200% in Ethereum from 1564? Okay. In less than a week. Discipline, technicals, on-chain metrics, right? We can talk about these all day long, but if you're not following them, if you're not doing your own educational investment and just simply costing you nothing but time, and sometimes time is the most valuable thing we have, not our crypto, okay, our time. But you've got to set time aside to understand and research a lot of what these indicators are. What do they mean? What do they signal? Don't just follow me or follow some guy. Telling you, what it is. Learn that, understand them. So when you pop up your chart or you pop up your account, you can see exactly what it means. What's going to happen. Bull flags. We talk about this a lot. How many bull flags have we seen in the last 2 months, 3 months in Bitcoin? Quite a few. What's the pattern been? Did they come up higher out of the bull flag? 12-hour candles, 4-hour candles. Okay. We're not talking about 1 minute and 5 minute candles here. Okay. The guy talking about the war on the 1 minute chart, he ain't talking about any of this. Okay. Because it's all bullshit. Okay. It just is. We all trade on the 1 minute. No one ever executes a trade at the 15 minute. Okay. Like you're executing it in the minute. Okay. Real time on your exchange. Okay. So, that's a little overblown. Okay. But you want to use all this stuff. Like, you want to start at the macro and then move down to your 15-minute, 5-minute, and 1-minute RSI levels, right? To dial in your entry. But the 4-hour and the 12-hour and the weekly and the daily are dictating the behavior, not the 1 minute. The 1 minute is entirely reactionary. And that's one thing it's hard for people to understand. The 1 minute is reactionary to everything else that's happening. Okay? Because that's where we trade at. That's where all the traders are trading in that second. Within that minute candle is when a trade gets executed. Okay? So everybody is trading within the 1 minute candle. Okay? Or the second candle, if you've got that on charts, which would be kind of crazy. But again, what are we looking at? What are we looking for? What's going to help you become a better leverage trader? And it's simply looking at a handful of things repeatedly throughout the week. Okay? You want to take into consideration your weekly candle, Sunday night's close. Okay? I say that a lot in my group. People still don't understand, like, because crypto's all over the world. There's so many different time zones. You know, what is a close? It doesn't really close, right? It's 24/7. You can trade Bitcoin 24/7 all around the world. So there's not really a closing candle, but there is from a technical perspective that's used depending on where you're trading in the world. So I always look at that last 4-hour candle on Sunday night, the last 12-hour candle. Okay. It also ends the week. I'm sorry, Sunday night. Sunday also ends the week, right? So you get a weekly candle. So you get an RSI number off of 3 candles closing at midnight for the most part, or thereabouts, depending on how your time zone's loaded. Which tell you a lot about what's going to happen in the week ahead. Because if that RSI level, again, historical, technicals, right? History, charts, BTC. Okay, perfect start there. What's happening with Bitcoin historically? How does it react to these market conditions? Post-halving. How does it react, right? What's the history of it, right? These are things you want to dive into. We know that on the monthly candle close, which is another one, so you got the daily, the weekly, and the monthly. We know on the monthly candle close that when Bitcoin closes above a night, like more or less a 90 to 92 RSI, that we need to be prepared for a sell down correction. Okay. Because that's the pattern. Okay. We want to watch that. Like we watch the 12-hour a lot. I do. And so when you look at my market analysis, it's really based on the 12-hour. That's how we had a bull flag on the 12-hour. So that's why last week I was like, stay calm. Okay. Unless we get a major breakdown. Okay. Which I don't think is going to happen. To reset this, we're going to test support level and then bring ourselves back up out of the formation. Okay. And that's what happened. And it's happened 3 times already. Okay. And this is what I'm saying about pattern repetition and pattern recognition. Okay. And that's what you want to look for. So right now we're popping out of a bull flag still right now, 57,780. Okay. On, the 12 hours and 4-hour candles. And so that's a clean break above and confirmed now with a couple 4 hours out of that channel. Okay. Remember, what's a bull flag? Pole pennant flag, right? Kind of forms. If you open up any of your charts right now and you go BTC, USD, 12-hour trading view, Femex, BitSeven, Bex Plus, you're going to see it. It looks like a flag, or it did. Now it's got these candles coming out of it. Okay. And so we have changed the narrative. Okay. Now we're coming out. So what's next? Like, okay, it's Monday. What's next for the rest of the week? Well, we're also nearing the end. Close. We're a week or so away to the end of the month, right? 10 days, I think. Or maybe not that far. And you want to understand that what we have coming up, is an ending monthly candle. Okay. We don't have any options expirations, right? Until when? Until April. So what just happened, right? We just had options expiration on March 26th. 6 billion options expired. That's with a B, mates. Billion. That's crazy. 6 billion options expired on Friday. So now we start again. So why was I looking at April, May, and June? Because that's the next phase of the next option rollout, right? So now you have a predominant number of option futures open interest, okay? Depending on what verbiage people are using. At 70,000, 80,000, and 120,000. Now let that sink in. You have people today buying contracts. They're called calls, okay, with strike prices 80,000, 120,000. What does that tell you? That tells you they expect the market to now go higher. When did they start buying a lot of these contracts? Today. Okay? The spike in volume. Okay? So now the sentiment has changed. Okay? We're not going back to 35,000. Okay? We're not going to 28,000. We're sure as hell not going to 17,000. Okay? So there's your narrative. Okay? Wait a second. Now what's the counter? Now puts, right? A put is when, or short is when you're betting it will go down, correct? Okay. They still have people buying contracts for 50,000 and 40,000. If you look at the option contracts across a spectrum, the graphs, you'll see the put option contracts are not selling like the long call options are. Okay. I want to say it's almost 3-1, 4-1, 3-1, something like that. Like here's a pretty good get to make you believe, okay, the sentiment has changed now. And we started the bull flag on March 13th, beginning of the bull flag. That's the poll was up. The flag part started about March 13th. Okay. And so that tells you how long that continuation pattern took before we got the breakout, right? As it tested off support. Now, a lot of people will tell you that, 52,000 was a huge critical level for support, and it was. But the other things you want to always factor in is, okay, when you're looking at your macro, okay, what's happening on the moving averages? Bitcoin has this continual ability to bounce off its 7 to 8 week moving average, which is a weird moving average, I know. Like, you don't hear a lot of people talk about it, right? It's not really a big thing on YouTube. You'll hear like the 20 week, the 21 week. The 20 week is actually like a simple moving average. The 21 week is a exponential moving average. Exponential takes in a little bit of other things. It makes it a little bit, to me, more realistic than the simple moving average. To me, a simple moving average is more like 100% like factors in 100% of what it is. There's really no flexibility. The exponential is kind of a weighted kind of thing, in my opinion. So those are the two that are huge. And then you get like the normal 50-day moving average, 200-day moving average, 100-day moving average, all that good stuff. But the 20 and 21 week are huge. I mean, in a sense that, a lot of people use that as they set their trend for Bitcoin, because we've seen some big events when Bitcoin has fallen below those weekly averages. Okay. Not so much when it's fallen below a 50 or 100 necessarily, in terms of a correction of 10%, 20%, 30%, whatever we're talking about. So that's huge. So you've got a 20 week, you've got a 21 week, okay, that you want to obviously keep track of on your charting, okay? And then you throw in there 7 or 8. You can use either one, 7 or 8 week, which is, Bitcoin falls below that. That's when I would be like, okay, like, just because it just seems to be a place where it keeps, even these down times, it came down close and boom, it popped back up. So what are we looking at in terms of April? Okay, we're almost to the end of March. We've already had March options expirations. We're going to have April's coming up. Okay. How do we foreshadow what's going to happen with Bitcoin in April? Right. And I don't know if you've heard this today. I haven't anywhere. But I've only been on YouTube for less than an hour today. Didn't see it come across. April is actually one of the best months to be in Bitcoin. Now, why is that? There's a lot of factors. Quarterly factors. Remember 4 quarters in a year, okay? People have adjusted their books. People have kept whatever it is at the end of Q1, right? Okay. If you're into that accounting stuff, if you're into that mentality and can understand that mentality of Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 a year, if you own a small business, tax-wise, you get it, okay? A lot of traders don't think that way, but you know that you should. I mean, have that mentality. But historically, Bitcoin has about a 50% or so, depending on which exchange what we're talking about, rate of return in the month of April, okay? To my recollection, there have only been 2 years, and they back-to-back each other, 2 years in which Bitcoin was actually down, and that was 2014 and 2015. So 6 years ago was the last time Bitcoin had a down April. It was about 5%, which isn't a lot. Now, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 5% was definitely a lot more impactful, right, on Bitcoin than, say, a 5% decline today at 57,782. Okay? So keep that in mind. 2 times. So the probability, the behavior is April, Bitcoin goes higher. And then when you factor in, okay, why are all these call options being written and being bought, and these open interest, these futures contracts for 80,000? Forget about 120, okay? But they are being bought and written for that. 80,000. We're at 57, 58,000 today. Probably will test an all-time high coming up this week. What happens then? I will tell you that the market is anticipating Bitcoin, not financial advice, obviously. This is my commentary, my opinion alone. You need to do your own due diligence with anything that involves any kind of investments. Does not matter whether it's cryptocurrency, equities, bonds, mutual funds, anything, insurance, staking, anything. Okay? You're responsible for your own decisions. Okay? Not somebody on YouTube, not somebody in Discord, not somebody on Facebook, Instagram. Okay? You got to take ownership of your own decisions. Okay? But that being said, that leads me to believe, they believe, the market's going higher. That we are going to not only test our all-time high, but we are then going to pass through the resistance level of the all-time high. What has happened since November, okay, in Bitcoin, when we have actually broken an all-time high and confirmed, candle confirmed, maybe a 12-hour. What's happened? Everything moves up. Okay. You'll see the social media metric move up for a number of people Googling Bitcoin. Okay. You'll see the fear and greed index. That's another indicator that I didn't mention earlier. I apologize. That you want to factor into your weekly evaluation. You want to look at your fear and greed. Okay. Greed and fear and greed, depending on where you come at. Where's that little barometer at in the market right now? Where's market sentiment right now? What's happening on social media, right? What's happening in technical analytics? What's happening in the accumulation bubbles? Who's accumulating Bitcoin today and at what price? Is it institutions? Is it whales? Is it retail? Who will begin after we reach an all-time high? The FOMO in Bitcoin. It will be retail. We will FOMO in, most likely take Bitcoin north of its 60,000 area, okay? Before, at some point, who will trigger the 8% move down? It will be institutions. It will not be retail. Okay? It will be institutions, mostly, But that usually occurs at the end of a quarter, more times than it occurs at the beginning of a quarter. That's also, to me, very bullish. Okay. In terms of their books and their reporting and what they've got to do through regulations, regulatory, and shareholders and all that stuff, they have to do their own reporting. And so you can follow that. I mean, I follow like what's happening with Osprey, what's happening with Grayscale, what's happening with the new funds coming out, right? Now, that's another important aspect that doesn't get talked about a lot. Now, Coinbase is going to be coming public. We'll know more about that further here in the coming weeks. I'm understanding there's some delays, regulatory issues and the like. They've got custody, right? Again, like I say all the time, Coinbase is bipolar. So there's a custodial side to it that handles institutional purchases of cryptocurrency, separated from Coinbase Pro. Okay. They are one of the large. Okay. Boom. It's just, you name it. These are where Tesla. Okay. These are where people are getting institutional treasuries. This is where they're getting their Bitcoin from. Okay. And so you can watch that exchange flow and you can see the shrinking supply on some of these exchanges. Okay. That's a direct result of that. And so you want to pay attention to that. Okay. Because it's important, because supply. Okay. Demand. We know what happens in that relationship. Limited supply, higher demand, prices go up. Right. So that has to be part of how you perceive the market in your trading. I know, we want to get into 1 minute and just trade minutia, right? In a second, but having a broader understanding of the market is what's going to make you a successful trader. When I say, like, what's a bull flag mean to you? If you're in my group, you better know what bull flag signals bullish sentiment, right? Rising wedge, okay. Ascending triangle, descending triangle, These are the basic triangular formations, right, that you'll find. Hammers, right? All these things have a probability attached to them. Okay. NVT. Some of the guys talk about that. NVT. Okay. Net value to transactional activity. Okay. When that's going up, what's happening to the price of Bitcoin? Okay. These are all the pi cycle. Another one, right? What does that mean? Well, again, as I said before, pi cycle is a relatively new indicator, has not really gone through a full bull market yet, okay, or bear market ever. So it has not actually called a top ever, because it's actually created and formed after the previous phases of Bitcoin. So it has not yet called a single top ever in its existence. And that's important to know. Will it call the top of this bull market? We have to wait and see. But we know fundamentally what the indicator is all about, right? In terms of the cross, right? In terms of, what's going to happen to signal potentially that we've reached a Bitcoin top. So you have to pay attention to it. Doesn't mean, you're like trading on it, that only sole indicator, but you throw that into the basket with the rising levels of RSI, with any convergence or divergence in a particular asset that you're following. Okay. These are things that are absolutely, huge that you want to follow. So I highly recommend that you take a step back. If you're in your trades, in your 5, 10, 240s right now, you are up. Okay. How many more days do you have left in your 240 hours? If you bought, like a lot of people in the Crypto Leverage Trading Group, last Wednesday, Thursday, you're right smack dab in the middle. You've got about 5 more days, right? Stay in that trade. And so you want to watch Bitcoin and you want to watch this 58,000 level. Okay. It's okay if it tests 58,000 during the trading session and comes down. What you're looking for is a 4-hour candle or a 12-hour candle above 58 to close. Okay. Or more importantly, the last candle of the day. Okay. 4-hour, 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. or the 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. candle will close above 58,000. And that will signal to you that there's going to be a move to 60,000. There's going to be a test to 60,000. And that would, if that happens here in the next 24 hours and it leaves you with 3 more days left in your trade, then, again, your comfort level. Okay. Every trader is different. You have to look at your comfort, look at your rate of return, look at your P&L, and determine whether or not you want to exit that trade or not. Okay. Or look again at your technical analytics and look at your on-chain metrics and let it go to test, and then determine, okay, on a rejection of a previous all-time high, you exit your trade. Could be your 7th or 8th or 9th day of your 240-hour 10-day trade, right? And then reload. Okay. And so you need to do your own due diligence in that respect in terms of taking a look at your portfolio or your cryptos that you own, and where you are with the leverage and where you are with the P&L, and determine whether or not you want to exit that trade or not. And as well as factoring in these factors, we have rising 4-hour candles now. Okay. And rising 12-hour candles to the tune of 4 or 5 in a row. Okay. So there's the trend, right? And so all this stuff happens within a 1-hour candle, 2-hour candle, 3-hour candle. You see a bunch of reds and you're like, whoa, it's going down, now. But then when you factor all of it in to a 4-hour candle, you find out the 4-hour candle is green, just like the one before it. And it's higher. It's a higher high, or, a higher, lower low, right? Like, that's how you look at it. Like, okay, we're still bullish. And, it's a simple, quick look at your chart. Instead of just staring at your screen, watching that 1-minute candle keep changing color, right? And so that's what's critical in terms of you wanting to be able to diagnose that information. But that's just a quick update. Again, if you're not part of our trading community, it's a free trading community Discord. The link will be in the description. Please like and subscribe to our channel. We got a lot more things coming out. You can be able to trade with us live. We'll do some casting and some streaming for tandem trading live to make you be there to answer all your questions, make you a better trader. And, follow us on Twitter at CryptoballersX. You can also join our Facebook group and our Facebook page, Crypto Leverage Trading Group, Cryptoballers Leverage Trading Mastermind. You can find all that stuff. All in the links in the description or on the channel description. As well as we have a CocoScope channel as well. So, we try to cover all the bases for everybody. Most of the people I know now coming into the group are from overseas, which is phenomenal. There's a lot of huge pent-up interest in cryptocurrency in Europe, and in the African continent, and in Europe, in Australia, New Zealand. It is unbelievable how much interest there is now. And it's just now starting, and at least my experience for having some exposure on some of these social media platforms, it's really just now starting to ignite in Latin America, Central America and Latin America. A lot of that could have to do with currency devaluations. A lot of that have to do with a lot of political unrest and all of those issues in those countries. But it is unbelievable how much of the interest, and I thank everybody for it. I apologize with the time zone issues that we seem to have so many times, with those of us here in the United States, and then, others in Europe, the Far East, and down under, that we'll figure it out. We'll get it worked out so we can all, make sure that we can all come together, trade together, at least a few times a week, or, definitely schedule them once a week to where everybody knows, and we'll change them up, so it's just not the people in the States that are up at 3 a.m. Trading, and, people in Europe at 3 in the afternoon or 12 in the afternoon, kind of middle of their work day, right, where they don't really have access, so we'll figure that out. But all right, mates, I hope everybody enjoys their Monday evening. I hope everybody has enjoyed this and gotten some value out of it. Please subscribe if you're not a subscriber on YouTube. And again, join our free trading community. As soon as you join, make sure that you send me a message, get me your email so you can get vital information into your email box, as well as links that will allow you to tandem trade and come onto calls, okay, that are not go live, that they're actual, live calls, live casting calls for trading. And you'll need to be invited into that. So we would need a means to invite you in. And we look forward to seeing everybody. And I hope tomorrow we have another great day as we test 58,000 Bitcoin tonight, going into the last 4-hour candle and into Tuesday. All right, mates. Appreciate it. Take care.